A very good morning to all of our Sports Today subscribers. Most of you must be sleep deprived at this point in time, right? What a lineup you had. Argentina, Mexico, 12:30 a.m. IST. Went on late till about 3 a.m. Then you have the India versus New Zealand second ODI, which will be held in Hamilton. Well, the immediate update that we can give you at this point in time is that the pitch and the squares, some parts of the square are under covers because about 15 to 20 minutes ago, there was heavy rain in Hamilton at this point. And the forecast isn't looking all that great for the rest of the day either. There are about 60 to 65% chances of rain in Hamilton. So it is actually not looking good at this point in time. But we do hope that the rain stays away and we get a game. Because remember, India versus New Zealand is very evenly poised at this point in time. Auckland, New Zealand chased down a total in excess of 300 for the first time since 2007. Seddon Park is New Zealand's fortress. Last 11 ODIs, they have just lost. And so New Zealand will be determined to ensure that they continue their winning streak. They haven't lost at home ever since the 2019 World Cup, remember. So that is why this is a very, very important game for both the teams. On the other hand, Shardul Thakur seems to be struggling with a back injury. And that is the reason why he might not play today. Shardul Thakur, remember, went for runs in the Auckland ODI, but many felt that since it was his first game after a long time, he should have gotten a longer rope. But with this injury, I think more changes will be up in store. You have to remember that whether India plays six bowlers today, the Sanju Samson and Rishabh Pant both play, that is going to be the next major thing that will be there. And so we are looking at the toss updates. It's getting brighter, and the toss has been delayed due to a wet outfield in Seddon Park. So that is the situation currently that we have. The toss has definitely been delayed, and I'll just give me a second, and then I will just go into the other details of it. Rain. Yep. So that is the current situation that we have at this point in time. The rain has delayed the toss at Seddon Park in Hamilton. One has to also remember that Seddon Park has been a bogey ground for India in the last couple of games. Remember, when India last won the series against New Zealand, their only loss came in Hamilton when they were bowled out for 92. Trent Bolt taking 5 for 21. In the previous instance, India made a total in excess of 300. But unfortunately, New Zealand chased it down with Ross Taylor and Tom Latham. Tom Latham yet again showing that why he is one of the best that New Zealand have at this point in time. Tom Latham's 145 and Kane Williamson's 94 ensured that New Zealand created history in Auckland. First time, as I said, 2007, that New Zealand had chased down a total in excess of 300 in Auckland in an ODI. So they hold the edge, and remember, 13 consecutive wins at home. New Zealand's streak is indeed fantastic. But if there is one team that can end it, it is India. Yesterday, we were all debating as to what will be India's playing 11. A lot of accusations were leveled that Sanju Samson, Rishabh Pant, injustice has been done to Sanju if he's dropped. How many chances will Rishabh Pant get? I just want to say one thing in this entire episode. You are blessed with a problem of plenty. If you're blessed with the problem of plenty, this kind of a situation will happen where one individual gets most of the games, some individuals will not be able to get most of the games. If Sanju Samson had a different skill set, you could have probably ensured that he gets a longer rope and he gets more matches on a consistent basis. But how do you justify dropping Rishabh Pant from ODIs? I can understand the frustration that Rishabh Pant has garnered for T20s. But in ODIs this year, he has averaged 54. How do you drop an individual who averages 54? At the same time, what wrong has Sanju Samson done? Sanju Samson also has done well in the limited chances that he's gotten. In all the games that he's had a decent contribution, India were actually behind the eight ball. He hung in and stitched partnerships with other players, and that's how India were rescued. But the problem is, same skill sets are clashing in the Indian cricket team. And if you want to play six bowlers, you have to play only one of the wicketkeeper batsmen. You can't play two or three wicketkeeper batsmen. The same can be true for even Ishan Kishan. Ishan Kishan only gets a couple of games, but then gets benched. What do you do about it? And so it is going to be a very, very interesting situation as to what happens next in the team composite. Remember, the same problem of plenty plagued the Indian cricket team during the build-up to the ICC World T20. Similar things will happen in the ICC ODI World Cup because apart from this bunch that is there, who are the others? There is a certain Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Jasprit Bumrah, KL Rahul, who will all be back for the ODI series, except Jasprit Bumrah, of course. They'll all be back for the Bangladesh series. So, what do you do? Shubman Gill also may not get a longer rope because, let's just face it, he is a backup to one of the openers. If KL Rahul does not have a good run, then maybe Shikhar Dhawan and Shubman Gill might step into the void. But remember, even Shikhar Dhawan's spot is in scrutiny. What do you do with the problem of plenty? Hi, Yug Parmar. Good morning. Serena Ozivia is asking me who will be the two World Test Championship finalists. That is a very interesting situation. Remember, now you're going to have a couple of very important series coming up. One is Australia versus West Indies, which Australia are the favorites for. Immediately after that, it is Australia versus South Africa. That is a potential curtain raiser to your final in June 2023. At the same time, Pakistan also play England at home. Pakistan also have a good chance. India play Bangladesh for two tests in December 14th to 18th and 22 to 26th. At the same time, if you see how cramped the test calendar is going to be from November onwards, the India versus Australia Border Gavaskar Trophy that will be held on February March could decide your two finalists. In my book, if you have to say, it could be Australia and India in the final, or Australia versus South Africa in the final. But India have to win all their remaining six tests. They have to beat Australia 4. Hi, Yokurmar. Any changes expected? See, Shardul Thakur was seen having a bit of a back problem. He's talking to the physio. He's currently not having his bowling boots on, and it seems as if he might miss out in this game. Then, who do you think will come in then? Deepak Chahar could come in, and maybe in order to boost the batting plus the bowling lineup, you get in a Deepak Hooda. But does Seddon Park offer you help with three spinners? I doubt. So whether India makes that one force change and gets an additional change, it remains to be seen. But we'll have to wait a bit for that because the toss has been delayed. The toss has been delayed at Seddon Park because of rain, and the weather for the remainder of the match is not looking very promising at all. Ganesh Sharma, I understand FIFA and then this cricket sports day. Ganesh, it was a brilliant day. Imagine the outcry. The situation for Argentina in the FIFA World Cup was pretty grim. If because Poland had beaten Saudi Arabia today and had Mexico beaten Argentina, then it was game over for Lionel Messi. The dream of winning the World Cup would forever have been a dream. So everybody's eyes was on the legend. And luckily, he scored the goal and it sent everybody into raptures. There's one iconic photo at Lusail Stadium where most of the Argentinian fans are cheering on, but most of them are all Mexican fans are also cheering for Lionel Messi. His popularity, he and Ronaldo's popularity transcends continents. That's how big it is. But I think I will add one more individual in that who is approaching near GO80 levels, and that is Kylian Mbappe. Fantastic youngster. Already he set the world stage on fire. He's already got 6 World Cup goals. He's just one behind Messi and Ronaldo, and he's got age on his side. Very, very frightening prospect indeed. So that is the current situation we have for people who are joining us now. The toss has been delayed at Seddon Park due to heavy overnight rain, and that is why we hope that it clears out soon and that we get a game on, but the forecast for the rest of the day is not looking promising at all. There are bursts of heavy rain for close to 2 to 3 hours. And then after that, looking at the conditions, we hope that we at least get a curtailed game, if not a full 50 over game. So that is the current situation. The covers are coming off. That is one very, very good news. The covers are coming off, and that means the toss could happen shortly. So that is the current state of affairs. The covers are coming off at Seddon Park, and we could have a toss soon. So that is good news for people who are wanting to join us. The first bit of good news from Seddon Park is the covers are coming off, and the toss potentially could happen in the next 5 to 10 minutes. But remember, the weather for the rest of the day is looking miserable. So thanks, Santosh. Vanakkam. How are you? How are you? Good morning. And for Santosh, if you're joining me now, the latest update is why, if you may say, why the toss has not happened. It's rain. It had rained in Hamilton about 20 to 25 minutes before the start of the toss, and that is why it was delayed slightly to do a wet outfield. But now the rain has eased off. It's brighter, and we hope that we get a full game in. But the situation is still looking a bit murky out there in Seddon Park. What are your favorite memories of India versus New Zealand when you look at the ODIs? I've got plenty. I mean, I have been following New Zealand cricket ever since 1992. And right from the first game that I saw, the World Cup encounter between India and New Zealand in Dunedin, I have been a fan of ODIs in New Zealand in particular. 1994 at Napier, Danny Morrison took a hat trick, and that's why the series ended 2-2. Sachin Tendulkar's big game prowess began in New Zealand. He was promoted up the order in Auckland, 82 or 49, and the world was never the same after that. 1999, again, you saw Rahul Dravid star in that entire tour, but it still ended 2-2. 2002-3 was simply a nightmare for the Indian cricket team. I mean, 2-0 in the tests, 5-2 in the ODIs. But in 2009, history was created. India won the ODI series 3-1, and they won a test in New Zealand after 33 years and a series after 41 years. That is how brilliant that team was under MS Dhoni. Again, Napier, Gautam Gambhir, and VVS Lakshman's epic rearguard action. Then 2014, Brendan McCullum. What a man. I mean, he single handedly changed the fortunes of their entire team, 225 and a triple hundred. And if you look at 2019, India started with India won 4-1, but a one loss came in Hamilton. So 2020 final in the T20Is, but 3-0 and 2-0. And it was the start of Virat Kohli's major slump. That's very important too. Chris Cairns, Ganesh Sharma, oh yes, but Chris Cairns was mostly in Kenya. That was the ICC Champions Trophy. First ICC event for New Zealand, the trophy that they had won. Prior to that, South Africa had won. But Chris Cairns, legend of the game, and loved him. What is the minimum number of overs for a result, Pradeep Srivalsan? Well, Pradeep Srivalsan, you have to bowl 20 overs minimum in an ODI. Minimum 20 overs is what is needed to constitute as a result. If it is under 20 overs, then it will be counted as a no result. That is the playing condition when it comes to ODIs. So, is it possible to Shubham? Is it possible to drop Rishabh Pant? Yes, it is possible. I mean, if Rishabh Pant is dropped, Sanju Samson comes in. Simple. But if you're playing 6 bowlers, looking at the team composition, you cannot drop Washington Sundar after all his exploits in the Auckland ODI. So after that, if Sundar is dropped, it's pretty harsh. So simple. Drop. If you want to drop Rishabh Pant, then Sanju Samson plays. That's how it is. But whether Pant will be dropped, because remember, he's also the vice captain of the team in this current situation. The current Indian team has Rishabh Pant as the vice captain, but they can also make Shreyas Iyer the vice captain as well. So that is that is the thing. Sanju Samson for Sky. What is your opinion? They just not a bad idea, okay? Because see, Sky in ODIs has been very average, unlike his T20I stats, which are remarkable. But unfortunately, Sky has not set the stage on fire in ODIs. So Sanju could come in place of Sky, but then if you have to look at form, if you want to carry forward that form, maybe give Sky one more chance to ensure that he can get his ODI numbers back on track. That's how it is. See, if you have to look at the current Indian team at this point in time, Shreyas Iyer is magnificent in ODIs. Suryakumar Yadav is magnificent in T20Is. Two of them play gives the bit more solidity in the Indian team. And remember, the ODIs are a different format. Shreyas Iyer openly said that can't play an ODI in T20I mode. After the loss in Auckland, he was pretty blunt about it. Can't immediately switch on from ODI from T20I to ODI. It takes a bit of time. And so that is the current situation. And it looks a very hard deck. And New Zealand have won the toss and have chosen to bowl. Not surprising yet again, considering that weather is on the cards. And that is the situation. And we want to see what is the team sheet at this point in time. We've got the team sheet now. Shikhar Dhawan, Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, Rishabh Pant, Surya Kumar Yadav, Deepak Hooda, Washington Sundar, Deepak Chahar, Umran Malik, Arshdeep Singh, Yajuvendra Chahar. So, Shardul Thakur is not playing. It is confirmed. Deepak Chahar is in. And for the extra batting and bowling option, you also have Deepak Hooda. This is a major development. So you've got Hooda, Sundar, and Chahal, three spinners. Then you've got Arshdeep, Deepak Chahar, Umran Malik, three pacers. Six bowlers, three pacers, and three spinners. Wow, that is a bold call indeed. Oh boy, it's going to be very interesting now. And that is the team news, folks. New Zealand have chosen to bowl, and India have included Deepak Hooda and also Deepak Chahar is in. That means no Shardul Thakur and still no place for Sanju Samson. Rishabh Pant stays. So I'll just update it for all our family members now. Deepak Hooda and Deepak Chahar are in. So for people who are joining us now at this point in time, New Zealand have chosen to bowl at Seddon Park in Hamilton, and India have made two changes. Deepak Hooda is in and Deepak Chahar is in. No Kuldeep Yadav, no Sanju Samson. That is the unfortunate thing that we have. And it is going to be very interesting. No Shardul Thakur as well. So that is the situation. We all thought that this will happen because you needed six bowlers. India were found wanting in Auckland because they just had five bowlers. And New Zealand, on the other hand, have made one change. There is no Adam Milne. There's Michael Bracewell. So this is the New Zealand playing 11. Finn Allen, Devon Conway, Kane Williamson, Daryl Mitchell, Tom Latham, Glenn Phillips, Mitchell Santner, Michael Bracewell, Matt Henry, Tim Southey, Lockie Ferguson. Santner, Bracewell, your two spinners. Henry, Southey, Ferguson, three pacers. And you also have Daryl Mitchell as a dibbly-dobbly. So they too have six bowlers in the team. And that is how the situation is at this point in time. And India's playing 11 is Shikhar Dhawan, Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, Rishabh Pant, Suryakumar Yadav, Deepak Hooda, Washington Sundar, Deepak Chahar, Umran Malik, Arshdeep Singh, UZ Chahar. That is the team at this point in time. It is a well, Ricky Patel, Nikhil is expected to join shortly, and once he comes, it'll be interesting to see what is the current situation, what he thinks about the current team batting lineup, because Deepak Hooda and Deepak Chahar, three spinners and three pacers in the team. Now, this is a very interesting conundrum now. Should you have picked another pacer? Because four pacers and two spinners would have been ideal on this kind of a deck, but perhaps they are reckoning that the pitch could slow up a bit. And Deepak Hooda, remember, 4 for 10 in that T20I that he played. I think he does warrant a place. And remember, Deepak Hooda in the ODI format has been really, really good. And in the West Indies series, you saw he bowled on a much more consistent basis, and he also batted deep and ensured he dragged India out of a very precarious position a lot of times. Nidhin is saying again Sanju out, Rishabh Pant again. What a joke. Santosh Kumar, no Sanju. Yes, yes, yes. I can understand the frustration. I mean, Sanju had played a good knock of 36 of 38, shared a partnership of 94 with Shreyas Iyer in the first ODI. But yet again, what do you do? If you have to play six bowlers, you cannot. Oops. What happened here? Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. Sorry, folks, for some technical glitches at home. Sorry for that. And they don't have the guts to drop one. But again, Abhijit, where is. We are once again guilty of mixing formats. Pant averages over 50 in ODIs this year. And that was the Auckland ODI was his first ever since his match winning knock of 125 against England in Old Trafford. If this was a T20I, I could understand everybody's frustration. But how do you justify not playing Rishabh Pant? This is not a T20I, this is an ODI. We have to understand that. Frustration, numbers, situation all have to be in a holistic picture. It just can't be pick and choose according to convenience. Is the game starting delayed? Ricky Patel, I think not really. I don't think it will be delayed because it was just a minor 10-minute delay for the toss. So I don't think that is going to happen. The game will begin on time. Afterwards, if there is rain, there could be delay. So there will be three spinners. Crazy call. Pradeep Srivalsan is saying. Yeah, I mean, I'm also surprised. Three spinners, and that too at certain part where it is flat. Although perhaps it could later on flatten out. But then Dew comes in at Hamilton later on, and it'll be very interesting to see how they. Pant would not be frustrated if he got chance readers, but he didn't. If you're mixing for why Pant played above Sanju in T20. Now, that is a situation that Abhijit, I'll have to say yet again. Sanju Samson, yes, got 100. Brilliant. Excellent. So he got a 50 odd, sorry. But who was the opponent? Who was the Ireland? In T20Is, India's team composition has been very, very dodgy. Why? Sanju Samson could have been in that pecking order. But who did India go with? Who was the keeper heading into the T20 World Cup? It was Dinesh Karthik. The problem that India created was that you picked Dinesh Karthik on IPL form alone. You fast tracked him for the World Cup. You didn't give him that many chances in bilateral series. When he got the chances, it was too few. From that point onwards, till the game against Zimbabwe in Melbourne, you were confused as to who should be the keeper, wicket keeper batsman who would have impact. Rishabh Pant or Dinesh Karthik. Dinesh Karthik was chucked out after the game, after the fourth match. In the last game against Zimbabwe, Pant played. Sanju was nowhere in the reckoning in the T20I format. Let us please just understand that. I understand Sanju not been picked, but our situation, if you want to say Sanju can't play or Rishabh can't play, is we are damned if we don't, damned if we do. So anyway, criticism will come in at all sides, irrespective of what our position, facts or numbers are. So my only request to all our family members is just ensure that we have an open mind about it, because it is very, very important that we are not discounting Rishabh Pant or we are not discounting Sanju Samson's contributions. But such is the competition and such is the team composition in the side and the dynamics that you have to play with just one of them. If you want to play six bowlers, you have to play only one of them. That is the problem. That's the problem. Abhinav Balla, sixth bowling option for the sake of it, and three spinners bad move. New Zealand batted well last year. We need to play extra batsmen and go that much harder to score faster. Abhinav Balla, I do agree. Manikant Mutta, our bowling is weak. Yes, kind of. Deepak Hooda, Washington Sundar, and Yajuvendra Chahal, 30 overs from them. Umran Malik, Arshdeep, two debutants. It's going to be a very, very tall task. And remember, the square boundaries at Seddon Park are just about 55 meters. Big trouble. And you're expecting way too much from Arshdeep and Umran. Remember, this is just their second ODI. Umran was superb with 2 wickets, but then he was carted later on. He lacked a bit of discipline there, but this is just his first ODI. Arshdeep had a bad day, a rare bad day, and we hope that he recovers soon from that. Deepak Chahar, all hopes rest on him for that power play strikes initially. And okay, I think Arundeep Singh, Rishabh Pant is match winner. Yes, I mean, look, Pant has in white ball cricket, unfortunately, Pant has not made his case strong. Apart from the ODIs this year, prior to that, he had struggled. T20Is is an epic struggle for Rishabh Pant. And that's why I think if Sanju Samson has to be consistently picked, he has to be picked starting from either the series that starts from January and play him on a consistent basis, but he has to be your regular in the T20I format for the 2024 T20 World Cup. That is a certain now. You just can't ignore Sanju Samson at this point in time. Need to drop Sky instead of Sanju, Neil Dhimar is saying. See, the suggestion is not out of the box. It could be done, but Sky, I would say, with the form that he is in T20Is, if that is carried forward to ODIs, it's good. But yes, Sky's ODI numbers have been not too good. So that is one problem that we have at this point in time. So that is the thing. And he's a match winner. It is one day he only played one match winning innings, Abhijit. But yes, he played match winning knocks. Sanju is gaining consistency now after 7 years. Sanju was a victim of both time and we have Nikhil finally joining us. Good morning, Nikhil. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you, Sid? So sorry, I couldn't join you in time. My alarm clock betrayed me.
Or were you betrayed by the sublime brilliance of Lionel Messi in the Argentina-Mexico game?
Yes,
What a
his goal
cracking
was
game that
stunning.
was.
What a stunning goal he scored. I was up watching that because it was
Yes.
a do or die. Do or die. Were you watching that too? Or did you see the highlights in the morning?
No, I was awake because my social media feed was just going bonkers. Because I have a lot of Lionel Messi fans. My friend circle, they are
Hmm.
more towards Messi than Cristiano Ronaldo. They chronicled every single moment. Oh, Mexico are dominating, end of a legend, end of an era. But then when Lionel Messi scored, they just went bonkers. And remember, he's now level with Cristiano Ronaldo also now. How
Yes.
these two legends can match each other is simply magnificent.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
And there was
so
a
what
delay, by the way, Nikhil. The
yeah,
toss
why
was,
the delay? I wanted to know why the delay?
there was a 20-minute short, sharp spell of rain. And that is why, due to a wet outfield, the toss was delayed slightly. But the weather has cleared out now. But the rest of the weather forecast is not looking good, unfortunately. But New Zealand have chosen to bowl. India have included six bowlers, but three spinners and three pacers. There is no
Yeah,
Shardul Thakur because Shardul Thakur has apparently got a back problem, and that's why he's not playing. Deepak Hooda, Washington Sundar, Arshdeep Singh, Umran Malik, Deepak Chahar, and Yajuvendra Chahal. These are your six bowlers. The main contention is three spinners for Hamilton.
yeah. I don't know what the logic is to play three spinners. That's a bit surprising. But eventually they've done what we had been discussing on and off here, or in fact consistently, where we said that you need to go in with six bowlers. So at least they've done that. And remember, when we were trying to play six bowlers, then we had no spot for Sanju Samsung. Even though we wanted Sanju to play, there was no spot for Sanju. The only way you could fit him in was either for Shreyas Iyer or then Rishabh Pant. So that is something that the team management needs to look at. And I guess there might be a rotation with these spots, or even Surya Kumar Yadav. I don't know. These are the slots where Sanju can come in. So three slots effectively, but they've not dropped any of those guys and played and dropped Sanju. So I know a lot of people are not going to be happy with this call, but I think the in the larger scheme of things, the correct call of playing six bowlers has been taken. That it happens to be a spinner, an extra spinner. That's again a bit surprising. Or 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 is it prompted by the fact that you thought you need a very long bowling lineup because sorry, batting lineup, because if you remember when we were trying to fit in those six bowlers, then you were going either with a Deepak Hooda or a Washington Sundar. So we were in that sense slightly batting short, but maybe what
Yes.
they've noticed in that game versus New Zealand, where even 306 wasn't good enough, so they've tried to bolster their batting as well by including a both Washi and a Hooda, and then Deepak, who comes in for Shardul, I think. So in that sense, that remains same. But now you got an extra batsman as well and a bowler. So I think all of that put together, I guess. So it's been a kind of focus of having a long batting lineup so that they can play that attacking game and having that extra bowler, which they desperately need, which we pointed out earlier. So yeah.
Many people are suggesting, before you join, that why not rest Surya and play Sanju?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said, that could be one other option that they look at. But again, when we were talking about Surya Kumar Yadav, in fact, I was very surprised the time that we made the 11. A lot of people pointed out that Surya shouldn't be there because of not a great ODI record. But that I
Yeah.
think I think we need to overlook that considering his form in T20 cricket. And if there are even talks of looking at Surya in the longer format, that is Test cricket, based on the form that he's showing in T20 cricket, then clearly you need to look at ODI also in that sense. So, I would still play Surya Kumar Yadav. In the form that he is, I would play him. Yes, he didn't get you run in that game, but I would want to give him a longer rope. If you ask me at the moment between Surya and Sanju Samsung, who is it that you will play in the 11 first choice? I'll play Surya Kumar Yadav. Primarily because of what he's been doing. He's been the best T20 batsman, not just for India, but I think in the world at the moment. If he can replicate that kind of form in ODI cricket, especially when you're saying that, oh, maybe ODI cricket is going towards the T20 way, where you need that kind of bat. If that's the case, then I will play him ahead of Sanju Samsung any day. I know, but I guess Sanju is going to fight for a spot between Surya, between Rishabh Pant and Shreyas Iyer, because once you're going to look at the balance, then you will definitely need six bowlers, and so they may have to rotate between these players so that all of them. I still think Sanju should get equal chances, but then all of them probably rotated in a way that each of them gets equal amount of games, and then you can call who's the one, who starts ahead of the other.
Our family members are just overwhelmed. They're saying one simple question: why always Sanju? If we can answer that, I think we can prove Einstein's theory of relativity also wrong. If we can answer that, why only Sanju every single time?
Uh, I know, but I guess. See, I'll tell you. I mean, okay, let's take a look at player by player. These three players that we just spoke of, right? So okay, let's look player versus player between Sanju and Sky. Sky, who would you play in your first choice 11 in an ODI? I would, as I mentioned, go with Surya Kumar Yadav. I think he'll have to be slightly ahead. Uh, just looking at his white ball form, just the way that he's been playing T20, you can't ignore him in ODI cricket, because if he can get that same gas that he gets in T20 cricket in ODI, maybe albeit with a few changes here and there, then I mean he's a guy that you want to have in your team. So between these two, I'm going with Sky ahead, slightly ahead. Now it comes to, let's say, Shreyas Iyer and Sanju Samson, who you're going to go with. I think Shreyas Iyer, because his numbers are phenomenal in ODI cricket at the moment. How is it that you drop someone who's been one of your best ODI batters? Despite all his weaknesses and whatever we might talk, if you look at numbers, he'll tell you that he's getting runs. So he's ahead. If you ask me, I may pick him ahead of Sanju Samson. Then it comes to Rishabh Pant and Sanju Samson, and I think that's a close call. I think what Pant is getting now, because Pant has done well in ODI cricket, we end up confusing his poor T20 form and ODI form. He's done well, and I think the other benefit that Pant gets is that he's been outstanding in Test cricket. And I know that that's not the right way to look at it, but sometimes it works in your favor, because he's been someone who's done well. And if you're a certified match winner there, sometimes it helps your cause when you're selecting. The other thing that goes in his favor is a left-hander. So all of that, and I think he is the best keeper around at the moment. So all of those things are kind of helping him play. But mind you, I think that that long rope that he's getting, you're getting towards the end of it, and if he is not going to perform consistently, he may be dropped. And in Rishabh Pant's case, that there was a phase that he was there where he was dropped in all formats. So it has happened to him before. So that's not sacrosanct that he will continue playing. I think he'll need to come good. Maybe because of, as I said, his achievements in Test cricket and him being the best keeper, also a left-hander, all of this are going in his favor, where he gets slightly longer rope than the other. But if he doesn't get run, I think that could be the spot that Sanju can challenge right now going forward. He could come into the 11. And so if all of that put together, that's why when we made our likely 11 before the first ODI, we also didn't have Sanju because of the reasons that I just mentioned. But that's not to say that it should be like that. I think there should be some sort of a rotation. So if you're giving Rishabh those many chances, maybe give Sanju also enough chances going forward, considering you're going to play a lot of. What do you think about between these three, one by one? Who would you play? Is there any player that you look to bench and bring Sanju in at the moment?
No, I mean, see, my simple argument, even then, I had argued in the previous dugout also that if you have to play 6 bowlers, you cannot play both Sanju Samson and Rishabh Pant. It's very clear. Pant's been that left-hander, and remember, if you get Pant in, you got Shikhar Dhawan and Rishabh Pant, 2 left-handers in the top 6. And with Sundar now in, from number 1 to number 8, you got batting till Deepak Chahar, 5 right-handers and 3 left-handers. That gives you an added edge. Left-hander, we all were saying it's one-dimensional. The T20 side was one-dimensional. So, left-hander option, Rishabh Pant is fine, and his record is 50 plus in ODIs in 2022 this time. So, form, I will stick with Pant. Shreyas, obviously, solidity in the middle order. He is your best player at this point in time. Sky, well, I hope that T20I form can be carried into ODIs, because he's slightly underwhelmed in ODIs, surprisingly, Surya Kumar Yadav. I think this is a format where he can actually be so devastating that a total of 250, he can actually get to 350, 370. That is the impact Suryakumar Yadav can have. So I don't disagree with any of the statements that you made. I think it's perfectly fine. I wouldn't bench any of the three at this point in time. But yes, if Pant has a failure, but yet again, how long a rope or how short a rope do you give to players nowadays? Because some of the analysts are even saying that if a player is playing for the spot every single time, he will obviously not produce his best. Is that what is happening in the current Indian cricket team at this point? Every
But
player is afraid of a spot, whether he's going to get it. So,
no, that is albeit, but I guess that's the nature of the sport. It's getting competitive. You are looking at fielding multiple teams. If that's the way you're going to go forward, then you would have to be in a situation like that. Till such time that you can
indeed.
cement your spot, you will have to. So, I guess, I mean, this whoever it is, we can't look at it that, oh, because everyone's not getting enough chances, that's why they're not doing well. If that is the situation, then you have to make peace with it. You need to find a way to perform in that situation. You cannot be like, oh, I've not got enough chance, because it'll happen to everyone. And then whatever limited chances you get, come there with a bang, get runs, take wickets, whatever your role is, and then force nobody to drop you. And that's going to be like that for most people. So I mean, there are people who even perform sometime and haven't got a chance because the regulars come back. So that's the nature of sport, I guess. Everyone who's
I
playing,
know that is
yeah, will have to live by it. The game started, so I don't know.
yep.
What do you?
2 overs are up. Matt Henry and Tim Southee opened the bowling. Shubman Gill, Shikhar Dhawan Shubman Gill has started off pretty well, and one hopes that the rain stays away because the
Yeah,
forecast for the rest of the afternoon is not that good. But we hope it stays away.
I know your forecast, whichever app you check, isn't great, yeah, because it keeps getting it wrong. So I hope it does today.
As I said, I was glad I'm not a meteorologist. I'm glad. I must have been a Britisher in my previous era because I am not getting the weather right. Even the BBC gets its own UK weather forecast wrong most of the
Yeah, maybe. So,
time. Yeah.
what is the standard Hamilton score recently? Any data on that? What are we looking at?
Well, the last two ODIs that India played in Hamilton, they got bowled out for 92 in one game. That was the only game that they lost in that 20. That was the last series loss that New Zealand had. Remember, since then they have won all the games.
Ah,
And 92, India were bowled out in Hamilton. But in the previous game that they played, it was 330. But New Zealand chased that down.
oh. So
So, and the square boundaries, just like Auckland, are ridiculously short, 50 to 55 meters.
I'm saying 350 you'd have to score. India batting need to get
Yes,
350.
minimum. That
Mm,
is kind of the par total we are looking at.
yeah. Like Abhinav Bhalla is saying, I like his point. It's a learning curve for pacers, so I don't mind losing if it's difficult for bowlers, but
Yep.
especially for spinners in New Zealand. But there is no excuse for batsmen playing safe and not getting 350 every single time. So I agree. 350, 375 is the new normal, and they need to look at it, especially if you're playing in New
Yes,
Zealand. So I think he makes a
I
valid point.
know. Absolutely, absolutely. So Shubman Gill is looking in good touch. Hope he can carry on. Frustratingly, he got out on 50 last time in Auckland and he threw his wicket away. That's
Yeah,
one thing which you have to look at. Dhawan is playing the anchor role. Shreyas Iyer will be the key, and even Pradeep Shivalsan saying, hope Rishabh Pant performs today. If he doesn't, the chorus will only get louder
yeah,
for
agreed.
his omission.
I think we said that. So nothing more to add there. But what Sumit Kumar is saying, he's saying, why can't we groom pacer batters like Venkatesh Iyer? As in, he's talking about all rounders. I mean, he's
Yeah,
not a pacer as such. I think he's a gentle medium pacer at best.
dibbly doubly.
Hardik is your fast bowling all rounder, but there are only few. at the moment. Very tough to get such. But I mean, I agree on a certain extent that I think we were unfair to Venkatesh Iyer also. Got him and
Very,
then ignored him
very.
very, very fast. I think just to throw him out of the scheme of things, especially sometime when you're taking, backup players, not the regulars, I think he should have been kept in the loop once you got him in. You discarded him very, very fast. And you have discarded some
I
fast
know.
bowling players very fast. One of them being Sid's good friend Vijay Shankar also. So
Well, that was an era where horses for courses was the key. And yeah, if it had to be dropped, he had to be dropped. Simple.
yeah,
If he didn't fit into the scheme of things.
yeah,
And as you said, the nature of competitive sport is such. We all got a premonition of it in 2017 itself, the horses for courses approach. So it's
yeah.
still continuing. It's in a new avatar, though.
Mm.
Yep. So
So
3 overs, 12 runs,
yeah,
and
just taking a
let's
last
see.
comment before we wrap up cricket analysis by RV. He says Iyer and Samsung look like players with calmness. Whenever I've seen them, and even if the required run rate is 10, they can help India win the World Cup. That's a valid point, but do they fit into the 11? Uh, I don't know.
I
Once
mean, there is
bowlers
there
back,
is so much of debate over who should come in this 11, but we tend to forget that most of our A-listers are going to be back in the
yeah,
Bangladesh series.
yep, yeah,
And
that's true.
there'll be a position, as we saw in the T20 World Cup, there'll be a fight for who's the backup for the backup.
Yep, 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 true. Akshay,
Problem
he
of
said,
plenty.
good point. He's saying, we saying, where is Prasidh Krishna? He bowled well in last ODI series, but I think he's injured. If I'm not mistaken, he had
Yes.
injury issues, so that's why he's not. But I think he's going to be in the scheme of things for the Indian team going forward. So yeah,
Yep. Jasprit Bumrah will be back from January, and that adds a whole new dimension altogether.
yeah.
And it'll be interesting on these Indian decks. Will you persist with Umran, Arshdeep? Because Umran, I think, will be an asset on flatter decks. Not so much
Mm,
so in New Zealand because of the ridiculously small boundary sizes. So I think he'll be an asset in India.
yeah, think so.
Indeed, indeed. Array, but Ricky Patel, we have already made score predictions. I predicted India need 350 plus par
Yeah,
total, but I think looking at the way how the last match progressed, I think they'll make 325 India.
I'm not making a prediction. I want India to
Winner
make
don't
three.
ask.
So yeah,
Yeah, winner don't ask.
winner I'll predict in the mid innings.
You predicted it. I'm not predicting it now.
Chalo then. See you.
I think I'm going back to those IPL days. An unprecedented streak, 074. Never got any of my score predictions right. Any of my score predictions. Yep, that is how it is. And I think we are seeing some drizzle. Uh-oh. Let's see. Let's hope. Let's hope. Please, rain stays away. So we'll be back, Nikhil,
Yep,
for the mid innings,
yep.
and we'll give you all the updates and analysis. Remember, FIFA World Cup, another action-packed day, the last of the 3:30, 6:30 matches. From 29th onwards, you're gonna have two matches at 6:30 and two 8:30 and two matches at 12:30 simultaneously. It's hotting up. It's really hotting up in Qatar.
Yep.
So we'll be there for all the analysis. There's a like, comment, and share button. We are also there on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you. Bye bye. See you in the mid innings. Wanna come, Nikhil? I'll see you. Bye bye.
See you. Bye.
Bye.